She saved lives every single day. Strong hands, a sharp mind. Dr. Jasmine Patel was one of the best. But behind her calm smile was a broken heart. Her husband left. Her son drifted away. And she was losing herself without even knowing it, until one day she walked away from the hospital and began a journey not to rescue others, but to find herself. This is a story of courage, of motherhood, of second chances. Stay with us. You'll learn English, and maybe you'll learn how healing begins. Let's begin. Jasmine Patel stood under the harsh white light of the hospital hallway, her hands still trembling from the last emergency. A teenager had come in with a gunshot wound. He had survived. Barely. Another life saved. It was what she did, what she was known for. Dr. Jasmine Patel, one of the top ER doctors in Seattle. Calm under pressure. Brilliant. Respected. Her name was spoken with admiration among staff and patients alike. But no one saw what she carried inside. At home, the silence was louder than the beeping monitors in the ER. 2 years ago, her husband David had left. They had been married for 13 years. He was a freelance journalist, passionate, curious, always chasing stories around the world. One day he told her, "I need space. Time to figure out who I really am." She had nodded, thinking it was temporary. But a few months later, she saw photos of him on social media, smiling in Chicago with another woman, a younger one. They looked carefree, happy. Jasmine didn't cry at first. She worked instead. Double shifts, overnight calls. She wore her scrubs like armor. Every life she saved reminded her that she was needed, by strangers at least. But while she was busy saving others, she didn't notice someone slipping through the cracks at home. Her son Arjun. Arjun was 15 now. Quiet, withdrawn. Once a cheerful boy who used to wait up late for her. Now he barely spoke. His grades dropped. He skipped basketball practice. One night, he came home smelling like beer. Jasmine didn't yell. She didn't punish him. She simply stared, and he stared back with tired, angry eyes. "You're never here," he said. "And when you are, you're somewhere else." That night, Jasmine sat on the floor of the laundry room and cried, not just for her broken marriage or her tired bones, but for all the years she had missed her own son growing up while she was saving everyone else. Something had to change. She took a leave of absence. The hospital didn't question her. They saw how thin she looked, how her eyes had lost their spark. She searched online for healing retreats and scrolled through yoga classes, meditation centers, and wellness spas. But something else caught her eye. Wild Heart Expeditions, a 14-day cross-country hiking retreat for emotional renewal. Jasmine had never camped in her life. She didn't even own hiking boots. But something about the words emotional renewal pulled her in. 2 weeks later, she stood at a trailhead in Oregon with a backpack too heavy and boots too new. There were 10 other people in the group, a nurse from Boston, a retired teacher, a young woman recovering from addiction, and their guide, Elise, a strong, suntanned woman in her 40s with calm eyes and a voice like the wind. No phones, no mirrors, just you, your body, and the earth beneath your feet. Elise said on the first day. Jasmine wanted to run. Instead, she took a deep breath and began to walk. The first 3 days were painful. Her feet blistered. Her legs burned. At night, she couldn't sleep. The sounds of owls and coyotes felt too loud. She missed her bed, her coffee, even the smell of antiseptic. But by day 4, something shifted. Her body, used to hospital hallways, began to adjust to mountain trails. Her breathing slowed. She noticed birdsong, the scent of pine, the way the sun danced through the trees. And in the quiet, her thoughts got louder. She thought of David, of how he left without a fight, of how she had blamed herself for not being enough, pretty enough, present enough, fun enough. She thought of Arjun, of the time he broke his arm and cried in her lap, of how he used to make her pancakes on Mother's Day, of how she had become a stranger in his eyes. And she thought of herself, the girl who once wrote poetry in college, who dreamed of opening a small health clinic for women, who loved the smell of rain and cinnamon, but had forgotten both. On the 7th day, the group reached a quiet ridge with a view that stretched for miles. Forest, sky, mountains, and beyond. They sat in silence. Jasmine took out a notebook and began to write. I've been running for years. From pain, from guilt, from silence. But up here, there is nowhere to run. Only the wind and me. As the days passed, Jasmine began to speak more with the others. They shared stories around the campfire about heartbreak, loss, addiction, loneliness. No one wore masks here. No one pretended to be fine. One night, she told them about David and Arjun and how afraid she was of losing her son for good. Elise nodded gently and said, the good thing about love is that it can be rebuilt if you water it, if you show up for it. Those words stayed with Jasmine. She didn't have to be perfect. She just had to show up. On the last day of the hike, they reached a lake so clear it mirrored the sky. Jasmine took off her boots and stepped in. The water was freezing, but she laughed. She laughed like she hadn't in years. Back in Seattle, the city felt louder, faster, but something inside her had changed. She picked up Arjun from his friend's house. He slouched into the car, silent as usual. I missed you, she said. He didn't respond. But when they got home, he stayed in the kitchen while she made tea. I went on a retreat, she said. Not a spa, a hiking trip. It was hard, but it helped me think. Arjun raised an eyebrow. You? Hiking? She smiled. Yeah, me. And I realized I haven't been here for you. Not really. He looked away. It's fine. It's not, she said. And I want to fix it. If you'll let me. He didn't answer, but he didn't leave the room either. And when she handed him a cup of tea, he took it. The next morning, she found a note on the fridge. Can we go to the movies tonight? Just us. Arjun. Her heart swelled. Jasmine didn't go back to full-time work. She started part-time shifts, spent weekend with Arjun, and signed up for a local poetry class. Her first poem was about the lake and the cold water and the way it woke her up. She also volunteered at a women's shelter, offering free health checkups. One evening, she sat on her porch, writing in her journal. I used to think surviving was enough, but now I want more. I want to live. I want to love my son, myself, and maybe someday, someone new. I don't need to be saved. I just need to stay open. She looked up and smiled at the sky, now lit in soft pink and orange, and somewhere deep inside her, peace had returned. If you enjoyed the story, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more emotional English stories. Thank you for watching.